Recently, Korean animation has been making a strong impact at international film festivals and in the global market. Also, KPopDemonHunters marked a major milestone for the industry by winning a Grammy Award. Today, we'll take a closer look at the storytelling power and defining characteristics of Korean animation and why it's gaining so much global attention. To help us do that, we're joined in the studio by Professor Chie Hye-won at Kyung Hee University. Welcome back, Professor Chie.
Hello, Professor.
Hello, good afternoon.
All right, Professor Chie, let's start with the animated film K-Pop-Demon-Hunters. Although not produced in Korea, it's been made by a film director who's Korean-Canadian, and it's really deeply rooted in K-pop and K-culture. We recently had the Grammy win for the song Golden, and there are also a number of nominations for the Academy Awards.
Right.
So where do you see the significance of this current situation?
Right. First of all, I apologize for my voice.
Oh, no worries.
Sorry about that. So on February 1st, the theme song Golden from the K-pop Demon Hunters received the Best Song Written for Visual Media Award at 68th Grammy Awards. So it really has set a new milestone in K-pop history. This means that the creativity of Korean music creators, including Lee and Teddy, have been officially recognized by the world's most prestigious organization. And especially the Grammys have been criticized for being somewhat conservative toward K-pop, but it can be said that this award have broken down that barrier. So in addition, this successful case of expanding into animated film featuring K-pop and the Korean elements has proven the potential for the expanding the added value of the K culture in more diverse directions in the future. And as you just mentioned, the K-pop Demon Hunters has also nominated for Best Animation Feature and Best Original Song at the 98th Academy Awards, and let's hope this film wins the Oscars as well.
Well, we're going to cross our fingers for
in
that.
March, right?
Yes.
Right. And K-pop Demon Hunters puts distinctly Korean elements within the movie. I mean, it's very obvious with K-pop, Gimpop, as well as Korean folk tales as well.
Right.
How do you think, how should we understand the global response to a work so rooted in Korean identity?
Yeah, through the K-pop Demon Hunters, global audiences have become more interested in not only K-pop itself, but also the significance of Korean history and traditions, and have developed a greater affection for the Korean sentiment as well. So in particular, I think that the fact that the Korean shamanism was brought to the forefront through the exorcism ritual using the K-pop idols was interesting enough to attract the global affections. The K-pop Demon Hunters is a good example to improve the Korean traditional culture and history as a central driving force of the narratives. So following this success of the K-pop Demon Hunters, I hope to see a wider range of the Korean culture and history developed into global media contents. For example, I think that Korean story elements such as fairy tales and folk tales like 심청 or like 콩쥐팥쥐, those kind of things, and musical elements such as pansori can be utilized in various ways in many contents.
I think all of that is possible with the big interest in K-culture these days.
Right.
But now, Professor Chie, let's move on to the animated film 광장, or The Square, which is currently running in theaters, and it already received a lot of attention at overseas film festivals. Please tell us more about this one.
Right, The Square, 광장, is a recently released animated film inspired by and reinterpreting the classic novel of the same name by Choi In-hoon. So The Square, directed by Kim Bo-seol, has received several prestigious awards, including the Best Animated Feature at the 18th Asian Pacific Screen Awards and Jury Prize at the 49th NSC International Animated Film Festival and the Best Film Award from Seoul Independent Film Festival as well. The square depicts a tragic romance unfolding in Pyongyang, North Korea. So Bori, a Swedish ambassador, stayed in Pyongyang, and Bok-ju, a Pyongyang traffic police officer, shared the dangerous and the secretive love together. So the square is a work that effectively depicts the tragedy of a square without the individual freedom.
Right, just by watching the trailer, I actually almost teared up. You can feel the emotions, even though this is like a 2D style animated film. And what's interesting, though, is that the square actually explores some political and ideological elements. And we also last year had The King of Kings, which was made in Korea, but that was focused on Christianity or Jesus' story. And usually those kinds of subjects are said to be difficult in the global market, yet we are seeing those movies resonating abroad. So what's behind this appeal?
Right. I believe the reason the Square and the King of Kings were well received in overseas market is because both works effectively focus on universal human emotions. So the Square doesn't actually criticize the specific social systems, but rather effectively portray the tragic love that blossoms under surveillance and control, as well as the loneliness of isolated human beings. So these are universal themes that transcend time and nationality, and of course resonating with anyone. And inspired by the unpublished manuscript by Charles Dickens, The King of Kings also transcended the religious contents to tell a universal story of the sacrificial love, so earning a huge response from the global audiences. So both works are well received for the directing and technical skills of the Korean creators. So while the Square followed, as you just mentioned, the traditional 2D animation and focused on the narrative with the minimal directing, The King of Kings actually received much attention for its high-level 3D CG technology. So these two are different, but they both are focused on the human beings and the emotions as well.
I think they did a very good job of that as well, from what I hear from many critics as well. But it seems that recent Korean animations are choosing to highlight rather than downplay their Korean identity. So how do you view this creative direction?
I believe this is actually related to the growing global interest to the Korean culture. So beyond the Square, as we just mentioned, Yeon Sang-ho's film, The King of the Pigs, 돼지의 왕, and The Fake, 사이비, those are animations. These animations are dealing with Korean social issues with a serious perspective that is actually no less than live-action films. And these attempts also influence the diversification of the Korean animation industry. So the animation is a genre that offers a wide range of the materials and expressive powers that are accessible to both young audiences and the adult audiences as well. So like a KPopDemonHunters we just mentioned, Korean elements can be effectively utilized within a fantasy genres, while the Square, actually motifs from Korean literature can be developed within the contemporary context. So I believe that more works utilizing the diverse Korean elements will be created in the animation genres as well and attract more global audiences.
Right. And I don't think we can talk about Korean animation films without talking about Korean webtoons as well, because there are many adaptations from Korean webtoons into Korean animation. So how are the storytelling and planning and narrative sensibility of webtoons influencing today's Korean animation, do you think?
Yeah, I believe the development of Korean webtoon market is influencing the nature and structure of the neighboring media genres, and in various ways, and animation is no exception. So in the webtoons, there are many works that approach various materials, and the narratives are and the webtoons that have been succeed already have a high possibility of the expanding into animation market as well. So I believe that the Korean narrative structure that Webtoon have built over the past 20 years has become a key asset for the Korean animation to live beyond the children's market and into the global adult and the youth market as well.
All right, and finally, Professor Chie, we'd like to ask you about talent development. From your perspective, does Korea have enough to nurture and produce creative talent?
In addition to live-action films, the Korean Academy of Film Arts, the 한국 영화 Academy, also offered animation courses and they provided professional training and production support. So the Square actually was one of the graduation works of the Korean Academy of the Film Arts. In addition, Korean Creative Content Agency, 한국 콘텐츠진흥원, and the Korean Film Council, 영화진흥위원회, also support animation creation. However, the current state of Korean animation production remains uncertain though. So investment in the adult animation market is particularly very challenging. So recently, the popular webtoon, The Solo Level Up, 나 혼자만 Level Up, was adapted into an animation by a Japanese production company, A1 Pictures, not by the Korean producers. So I hope that Korean animation market will become more vibrant with the production of more diverse works in the future.
Well, let's do hope for a sustainable environment in the K-animation industry, especially with the growing interest in Korea's distinct voice, stories, and perspectives. Well, thank you very much, Professor Chie. I hope you recover soon, and we're going to see you back in a couple of weeks. Thanks.
Thank you, Professor.
Thank you very much.
And thank you, Walter, as always. We're going to have you back here on Wednesday.
See you Wednesday.
Thanks for watching and your interest in everything K-culture. Please tune in again tomorrow, 2 p.m. Korea time. Keep diving.